Leinster before the game. Wenderlich, Lloyd, Roos, O'Loughlin.
It's going to be bigger than the MasterChef final.
Really?
Great to have your company, particularly after the Blues have had a 10-goal win. The game's all here. How are you, you motley-looking crew, except for you, Samantha, of course, who looks beautiful.
I don't mind being motley.
No, you're anything but motley.
They're very excited, aren't we?
This is the Paris end of the desk. Hey, do you mind if I just start by giving a shout-out to the Fremantle Football Club, everyone involved. Thank you very much for last week. Thank you very much for making Richmond look less crap. Thank you. 1 goal, 7 for the game, and there was amazing scenes after the game. We've got some footage of the goal kicker here. Yeah. There he is. There he is. Due recognition for a wonderful effort.
Of course, he didn't play, Matthew Pavlich in that. That was Matthew Pavlich. I don't want to be a wet blanket. It's a very funny joke, but I don't want to be a wet blanket.
And Andy, you know, they didn't cheer him off because he got a goal either.
I know. But just for the sake
of really maintain the momentum there, Andy. Well done.
Andy, if we're not allowed to do jokes, we'll just go and you do the whole show by yourself. We're not experts, mate. But Mark Harvey, the Fremantle coach, they got beaten by 117 points. He was asked during the week, has he done anything different to try to get them up for the game this week? This is his actual response to the question. Do anything different to the players this week?
Oh, they've been for a swim.
They went for a swim. They had a paddle, apparently. And I don't think it actually went that well. Really? Have a look at this, Dean. Yeah, have a look at how this swim went. It wasn't great. I mean, there's Dean Solomon actually trying to... I can't take a trick Freo at the moment.
Hang on a sec, Hughes. I think Andy just wants to point out that that's not actual footage of the Fremantle Football Club.
It's tough times at Freo, isn't it? Mark Harvey, though, still has a year to run on his contract and has the chairman saying that they want to re-sign him.
They want to re-sign him?
The chairman, if you believe the chairman a couple of weeks ago, yes.
Wow.
But
can you imagine if Fremantle was, obviously in Melbourne, but if Fremantle was dishing up that sort of stuff and they were based in Melbourne, can you imagine the concentration of the media's spotlight on the Fremantle Football Club?
Yes, I can, Andy.
Yes.
Yes, I can.
And I don't know if that's an indictment on the media or on Fremantle.
Well, who knows what they're copying over in Perth?
Well, you could actually look it up on the internet if you wanted to. It's not that far away, to be honest.
It's a tough old paper, and we know it. I mean, you see their faces, and I certainly wouldn't want to do it. A man who does, and we know that he certainly does at some point, is Nathan Buckley. But where he coaches and when, we still don't know.
I'm already over this. I've been in the papers for about 6 weeks.
It's annoying, though, because he can do whatever he likes. He's like the prettiest girl at the nightclub, you know? I mean, the floor's his, whatever. He can go with anyone he wants, can't he?
That's the feeling, isn't it? And North Melbourne was planning to meet him over this weekend. They're being very cagey about when and where. You can understand that.
They've given him 3 weeks, haven't they, North Melbourne?
Well, no,
do you think maybe Darren Crocker's starting to think he's not the number one choice?
The one thing about that, though, North Melbourne, we believe, is going to offer Nathan Buckley the job. It's his job if he wants it, but Nathan Buckley's saying, I want to go through the process at Richmond. If he's going to go through the process at Richmond, how can he possibly accept the North Melbourne job if they want an answer sooner rather than later as to whether his intentions are...
Well, I guess, and we're just making this up really, but I guess I could imagine that if North Melbourne mounted a case, this is why you should be our coach. Yeah. Do you want to do it? Yeah, well, maybe
no wonder they all want him. I mean, he hasn't lost a game as coach in his whole career so far. So.
Is there one tiny downside in this, though? If Nathan Buckley doesn't take the North Melbourne job, if they put all their eggs in the Buckley basket and he says no, does the second bloke, the next bloke, the bloke who actually gets the North Melbourne job, does he feel very much like the second choice?
No, I don't think so. If someone rejects Jennifer Hawkins and then you get her, I don't think you're worried.
Although comparing Jennifer Hawkins to Richmond and North Melbourne, that's a bit rich.
Yeah, and I think
Mick Moldhouse is in the equation as well because he's at Collingwood, still hasn't re-signed. There's talk of Buckley assisting him potentially at Collingwood. It's putting a lot of pressure on Mick. He spoke about that pressure on Triple M just recently.
I really don't get caught up in this, Brian. I think it has probably more effect on my family, which does worry me.
Yeah, putting a lot of pressure on the family. And Mick's family had a catch-up during the week to discuss the coaching position. This is how it turned out. So I really hope they get on top of that because that's ugly stuff.
Well, interesting, this week I think is the first time that Mick Moldhouse has sort of conveyed that he would be open to that situation of having Buckley under him as an assistant. A lot of people think that's just a dream of Eddie Maguire's.
Yeah. Tell you what, Richmond would jump at Mick Moldhouse if they had a chance, wouldn't they? One
Absolutely.
of their favourite sons, premiership player.
Yep.
They'd love to get him.
I'd think so.
Because no one else apparently wants the Richmond job.
Well,
I mean,
Kevin Sheedy's pulled out, as has Wayne Campbell,
yeah,
in the
both
last
of
7
them.
days.
It's ridiculous. Even before they were offered it, they said, we don't want it. I cannot believe it. But they've gone further than that. Wayne Campbell actually gave an example the other day of what he would prefer to do rather than coach Richmond. Let's have a look at this. He said he'd prefer to do this than coach Richmond. I mean, Kevin Sheedy went on to say he'd rather do this than coach Richmond. I mean, you must feel sad, Mick, that no one wants to do the job.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm just wondering what the process is at Richmond, you know, for the coaching job. That's
It's a three-stage
explaining 10-goal losses at a press conference.
It's easy to lay the boots into your footy club from time to time, but I reckon they're actually going about this the right way, Richmond.
Right.
I think they are.
I agree.
Hey, I've got a question for you guys, the journalists on the panel. What age can you actually start to be a journalist? A young cadet? How old do you have to be?
Well, you were a prodigy, so you were doing it at 14, but yeah, around about 20, 21's about the age to kind of kick in.
Right, they might want to check out this kid. Have a look. This is a Ross Lyon press conference. He's been asked a couple of questions.
Again, it's about our future action.
I don't know who
that stuff.
Here he comes. What the hell?
Who's that little fella?
It's Hutto. Is it? Not sure. I think it might have been.
You know what? Kids are under pressure all over this country, all right?
Yeah.
They have been putting it under the microscope. During the week, it came out that an under-10 football side in Melbourne were branded hopeless by their coach on the internet, in an email.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Can I say something?
what?
Look, I don't have many standards, but I think that's one line you can't cross.
What is it?
With the kids, you got to be careful. You got to be nurturing. You got to develop young talent. You can't be doing
It's
that.
very,
Take care
very
of it.
interesting you say that, Mick Muller, because I know you've been coaching an under-10 side, haven't you?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, well, let's have a look how Mick goes about it.
That's the worst game I've ever seen. What were you thinking? You let yourself down, you let your team down, and you let your school down. Jackson, what was that? Were you attacking the ball or auditioning for Billy Elliot? Teddy, the ball doesn't have girls' germs. You're an embarrassment. You'll be going round in the kindergarten 18 next week, and Bob, lucky your mum's hot. And what have I said about girls? No wags on game day. You two. I just don't get it. What do you want to do? You're too slow. You need to harden up. You're a disgrace to the jumper. No wonder your dad left town. I don't get it. I just worry about you, boys. I don't know what you're going to grow up to be. I don't think you're going to amount to anything. You could end up in prison. Yeah. You know what to do, a lot of you. And you can kiss your end-of-season trip to Wobby's World goodbye. It's firm but fair. Firm but fair.
Actually, Mick, word just through, you're about to be offered the Richmond job.
Yeah.
That's cute. That's
Apparently, the team from the paper haven't lost a game since May 26. Since
there you go.
You know, so maybe you're
Gets
onto
results.
something.
Big game of footy at Etihad Stadium today. Sydney, if they had any hope, they had to beat Carlton playing finals footy. They didn't do it, and Carlton's last quarter, 9-0 final return for the Blues, Sam, was very impressive. Probably the best footy they've played for a long, long time.
The game to half-time, Andy, was being played very much on Sydney's term. We saw Brett Ratton revving them up at half-time, and Brad Fisher, he divides opinion between Carlton supporters, but after half-time, he kicked 3 goals in the third term, and a couple of them were from free kicks, but as you see here, he had to actually drill them as well. He did that. Brendan Favola kicked 4, he kicked 3.
Did you get 5? 4 or 5?
Five,
yeah.
Shivers. I've got 4 on my
Okay,
list.
right. We'll
But massive win historically, and Paul Roos has described it as the most disappointing second half in 7 years, I think he said. So he's very low about how they fell away. But Carlton hadn't beaten the Swans for 9 years.
Since 2000. It's since the Olympics in Sydney. It's an unbelievable result. And can I say, I had faith in them the whole day. And I think
That's untrue.
Whatever you say, I was my
a 10-goal win, and he's done nothing but moan all game.
He'd thrown, by 30 seconds into the first quarter, Hughesy had thrown 3 pens at the television.
Well, that TV was peeing me off.
And of course, another big win for the Cats today down at Geelong. But last weekend, they were beaten by Brisbane. 2 games in a row, the Cats lost. We were trying to work out why. A lot of shoulder injuries there at Geelong. We had a look at their warm-up. Look at this. Pings the shoulder. There's Chappie. Oh, yeah, it says Stokes there. Oh, he's done a shoulder as well. And let's see how Mooney goes. Yeah, shoulder's okay. No. Oh, no, he's pinned a shoulder as well. Tell you what, though, we could use those boys in the Ashes at the moment. We are an absolute disgrace.
Well, they've had some trouble in recent times, the Cats, haven't they, getting players on the park? They've got a bunch of people back today. They've lost their last 2 going into that game down at Geelong today, but they played Melbourne and they got the points. They dominated the first quarter, and it looked like it was going to be one of those Geelong-type performances, but they're actually outscored in the last 3 quarters of the game, if I'm reading that right, which is remarkable.
But I think once they got ahead and they knew they were going to win, they actually used this as an opportunity to play around a bit. We know that they've sort of struggled with the plan B and C and D. Well, they played Tom Hawkins today in the ruck, and he actually had a lot of influence. They put Gary Ablett at full forward for periods. He still got 40 possessions and kicked a couple of goals, and Joel Corey was playing half-back. So they used the game and got a lot out of it.
Time now to cross down to the Geelong Footy Club, of course, for the Jason Family Betting Player of the Day. We normally go down to the winners' rooms to this beautiful little segment, but there was history made down there today. Kelly Underwood joined the Channel 10 commentary team. First time a female caller has called an AFL game. It was a magnificent performance by Kelly. Cal joins on the show. You are our Jason Family Betting commentator of the day. Cal, how did it feel down there today?
Thanks for that, guys. Look, it was terrific fun. I feel like I need a bit of a stiff drink at the moment. I was just saying to Luke Darcy that I feel like I need a drink. He owns about half the pubs in Melbourne, but I don't think he's going to shout me one somehow. But certainly a little bit tired.
And did you do anything, Kelly, to bring a woman's touch to the commentary box? Did you put a Garfield doll up on the window or anything like that? Or put a Fure orange down?
That has to be a Mick Malloy question. Mick, I haven't seen you since we were on the beach in Malaysia over summer, but I'm guessing you've got more clothes on this time than last time I saw you. But no women's touch here. It wasn't needed.
That is the worrying thing about Mick with no clothes on. But you did a brilliant job, Kelly. Let's back to the game. How did Liam Jurra go, the new Melbourne player with the nickname the Cougar? Did he live up to the nickname?
Oh, he was very exciting. Of course, it was a bit of a dirty day for the D's, but in the end, he kicked a goal. He took a beautiful mark at centre-half forward, just a little one-hander. He's got a touch of magic about him, Liam Jurra. There's no doubt about that. The word is he doesn't like the Cougar. He doesn't like the nickname. He doesn't like the Jurricane. He actually prefers the Walpurgis Wizards. So a little bit of magic this afternoon from Liam, but very exciting to watch.
Magnificent effort by you, Kelly. Well done on behalf of everybody here at Before the Game. Terrific effort. May there be many more to come. You are our Jason Family Betting Player of the Day. You're going to sleep very well tonight, I reckon. Yep. Well done.
I will sleep well, although I've had a few too many coffees. I could have done with this last night, in fact, Andy, but thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Great effort there, and tell you what, the Cougar is very exciting.
The point there is you don't get to choose your own nickname. He can do it a lot. The point is you get given a nickname. I mean, you know, Andy didn't get to choose Giant Knob. No. You know. It was given to him because that's the way it works.
How much say did you have in lard ass?
That's hurtful.
A bit of solidarity for the skinny kid with a glass.
Hey, you two, get a room. Talk about sexual tension.
It is going to kick off here in the ad break. Well, it was a massive week in the press. while everything settles down over there. And I think we found some headlines that you might have missed. Mick Malloy, if he's recovered, could have one for you.
I do indeed. This is from the Herald Sun earlier in the week. Dermy ropeable after getting date with a cougar and discovering it's Liam Jara.
That was tough work. This was in The Age. Freo disappointed with 1 goal 7. It could easily have been 2 goals 6, apparently. So close, so close.
Bad luck. And this one in The Australian during the week. Pep says chances of him having a gambling problem are 33 to 1.
When we come back, we're going to go inside 60 with Paul Hazelby and Jason Winderley from the Bombers to join us on the show.
The only way is up for the Dockers.
What a great grab!
Live from Subiaco, can they pick themselves up off the canvas in a massive clash against the Lions? Fremantle, Brisbane Lions live 5:30 today.
Has Mark Harvey ever received a phone call from the headquarters of Lego asking him to return his haircut?
No, Chris Conley did.
If it's 7 o'clock in Melbourne and 5 o'clock in Perth, what time is it up at Aaron Sandiland's head?
What's your...
When Matthew Pavlich said it was time to put on the Superman capes, were you upset because you only brought your Captain Feathersword outfit?
Yeah, but I haven't been working this year.
And when Pavlich also said it's Wharfie time, do you think he should probably check himself into rehab? Is it true that Stephen Hill is so light when you have to put him on the scales at the supermarket deli, he doesn't weigh much?
That's the best one.
Freo had a massive turnover of players at the end of last year. Is it a worry when the club is leading the turnovers before the year has even started?
Still don't know all their names.
Because you were drafted 2 spots ahead of Matthew Pavlich, does he have to be your towel boy come shower time?
I keep reminding him.
Did Chris Tarrant's newfound role as a backman begin when he went to the wrong end of the ground by mistake? Garrick Ibbotson, is that a player or a tropical disease? Paul Hazelby, thanks for going inside 60.
Always a pleasure.
Welcome back to Before the Game. Using it
Can I ask, were you drunk during that inside 60?
I haven't had a drink for 15 years. I think I should start again.
Let's put your hands together for our first guest tonight from the Essendon Footy Club. Jason Winderley joins on the program.
Thanks for joining the madness on this show. But down to the footy, mate, you guys look like you're having more fun than ever. Is it the most fun you've had at the Essendon Football Club? You're exciting to watch and you really do look as though you're having a ball out there.
Yeah, it's good fun. Obviously, Matthew lets us play a pretty attacking style of football and, yeah, I'm sure it's enjoyable for the fans to watch as well, but it's exciting when we get our running game going, kick a few exciting goals.
We thought it was going to be a bit of a shootout last night. Ronnie Eade predicted before the game there might be 50 goals kicked between the two sides. It didn't eventuate it, but it was frenetic stuff, and I'm taking your word out of your mouth, Sam. I'm sorry to do that. It was tight in the first 2.5 quarters, but the Western Bulldogs pulled away in the end and had a pretty impressive win.
Yep, well, when you get 2 of the quickest teams in the comp going head-to-head, what do you expect? And it was a ping-pong kind of match of football. It was just going end-to-end. And you see this is what we saw repeatedly, the playing on, the taking it on, but then these chasing and exciting running down tackles. I guess the young Essendon team in the second half just found the intensity, I guess, for 4 quarters a little bit tricky to go on with, whereas the Bulldogs, who pride themselves especially on their third quarters, were able to really power on and in the end kind of ran away fairly comfortable. Mitch Hahn, very good game up forward, 5 goals for him, and Brian Lake really leading the Bulldogs defence and holding Matthew Lloyd to 2 goals.
Jason, you talked about the style of footy you played, and there were some examples last night. It wasn't all bad news. I mean, I know you would have liked to have won the points, got the points, but there was some classic 2009 version Essendon footy last night. Has Matthew Knights tailored the game style around the players that he has at his disposal at the moment, do you think?
Yeah, I think so as well. You had a lot of teams the last couple of years. The Hawthorn sort of started the trend with zoning, and I think that's the attacking sort of game style that breaks those zones apart. And like Geelong play it terrifically. The Bulldogs are doing it, and Collingwood now, and even Adelaide, they're terrific at breaking down zones. That's just playing on, get through it and get over the back of it, so you get like one-on-ones inside 50.
You guys look like you're really coming. You probably make the finals this year, hopefully, and the next couple of years look big for you. You've lost James Hird, was a magnificent leader, but Matthew Lloyd, I believe, has taken the reins and run with it. So much so he's apparently got an iron fist, and he rules with an iron fist, and based himself on Idi Amin, apparently, and his ability to dominate you guys. Is he really tough?
Yeah, I think he's got that in the closet with the velvet sledgehammer, so brings that out. But no, Lordy's sets a terrific example as being professional off the field, so yeah, no, he's great.
And just this statement, I mean, we're talking about the Mark McVeigh one, to drop him for his late night and not going to training. That sets the tone, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Like, Mark made a mistake, and that's the first mistake he's made in 11 years in football, so I was just unlucky. Yeah, that he got made an example of, but that just shows we're going in the right direction.
That's it.
And yeah, like Mark did terrifically well coming back in, and see now he's a terrific part of our team, and we really need him in, and looking forward for him to getting some form for the rest of the year.
It's good that you said good things about your skipper, Matthew Lloyd, because he's going to be part of the commentary team, Channel 10 commentary team down at the MCG tonight when Hawthorn take on Collingwood. A huge game for both sides, particularly for Limo's Hawks. Matthew Lloyd standing by at the G does join us. Lloydie, thanks for joining the program. Has everybody just started sucking up to you now that you've revealed this massive iron fist of yours?
Oh, I was a bit embarrassed about that, Andy. You know, that was long forgotten, as Jason said. It was one mistake he's made, and didn't expect that to be on the back page, so it was quite disappointing. But thought it was going to be about a story about myself, but ended up being all about Mark and myself. But we've well and truly moved on from that.
But Lloydie, clearly you've sent a message and the players are scared of you, because Scott Lucas, who, if he's within 80 metres, will have a shot at goal, last week, top of the goal square, handballs to you. He's petrified. He says, here you go, skipper. Please like me.
Yeah, I've got a few photos of him, Hughesy, that he doesn't want to come out, so I threatened him with that one.
Mate, it was a tough night last night. You kicked a couple of goals, but you haven't got Brian Lake somewhere behind you there in the commentary box, have you? Because he gave you hell last night.
Yeah, no, he's in ripper form, and as Prestigiacomo is also, so I'm looking forward to seeing the Buddy Franklin Presti duel tonight also.
What do you make of it, Lloydie? They looked like they switched on last week, Hawthorn, in the last quarter, and really challenged by North. Can one quarter of football turn around a season? Do you believe that Hawthorn can make a run at it after that performance last week?
Oh, the situation they're in at the moment, Andy, is that they can't afford to have any slip-ups, and they're playing a side who is in as good a form as any team in the competition. And you know, after tonight, we'll find out whether it was just a quarter of magic from Buddy Franklin and Luke Hydra, or they are the real deal. But you know, my money's on Collingwood, because I think they're overall as even a side as there is in the competition, and should be good enough to get the win tonight.
Mate, we'll all be watching Hawthorn v Collingwood from the G on Network 10 after the show tonight. Thanks for joining us. Good calling.
Thanks a lot.
Matthew Lloyd joined us. Jason Windelick in the studio, our special guest.
Hey, Jason, you didn't get the chockies last night, but I think you got the rough end of the umpiring as well. Can I show you one particular free kick, which was probably there? Look, there it is. It's a bit of a chop. But the 50 is one of the most remarkable 50s I've ever seen. I don't like going the umpires. I really don't. But listen to his reasoning here. Here he goes. Vincent kicks the goal of the 50.
That's demonstrative, though. What? They're your demeanour. That's demonstrative. Oh, you don't know the word, man.
Right. It's demonstrative. It's about your demeanour. That's unbelievable.
You didn't like that, did you?
Is this a game of AFL football or an episode of Ladettes to Ladies?
They are in charge, Mick. The umpires are in charge. And if you give an umpire a dirty, evil greasy, they can go you.
Demeanour? I don't like your demeanour.
I don't like your demeanour right now, all right? Apologise to the umpires.
Is there enough latitude? I mean, we're asking our players to be at fever pitch, operated at fever pitch intensity out there. Is there enough latitude for players to express frustration and anger, providing they don't become abusive out there, do you think?
Yeah, I think if you're not abusive in a personal way towards the umpire, then it's okay. You should have a bit of a crack at him.
You should be allowed to, shouldn't you? The player-umpire relationship is important to a game of footy. Players still comfortable that they get enough sympathy from umpires?
Yeah, well, obviously the game can't go ahead unless you do have umpires, and it's important that, yeah, you do set an example for the young umpires coming through the ranks, but at the same time, it gets heated out there. I think the umpires need to have an understanding of what the situation is in the game. Like, it was in a close moment there. The scores are pretty tight, so yeah, they need to sort of have an understanding.
You know what I think the problem is with you Essendon players is that you're in a frenzy, and I blame whoever's in charge of the sound system there at Etihad Stadium. When you guys play, when you guys run out, this is real. Have a listen to what is played as they. This is the Bulldogs, but listen to the background. They play an air raid siren. That's Actually, listen.
Lee, welcome. Do you think it's in there?
As if that's not going to freak people out. What about the poor people who lived through the Second World War at the game? They're thinking they're going to get bombed.
I've got to say, I did think that was inappropriate on the Anzac Day clash. So.
Yeah, probably it's a little bit different. Like you think you're in a scene of Saving Private Ryan, but it's something from the marketing department. I'm not sure if it's working, but
Let's hope they're going to go further and actually start throwing bombs in this.
At least we're talking about it.
Yeah.
I think it's working.
yeah, exactly.
So now, I don't know when you get a chance to watch the game back, but the commentators are supposed to be impartial. Tim Watson last night can't let go of his Essendon ties. He was interviewing Rocket Eat after the game and couldn't help but have a little jab at the end of the interview.
That consistency is an area we can improve.
Congratulations on your performance tonight.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Performance.
Newsflash, Tim, they won.
We're going to take a break here on before the game. Jason Winderlich from the Essendon Footy Club is going to stick it. Hello, what's going on? Jason Winderlich's going to... More to come after this.
Here at Before the Game, we're proud supporters of the Pedigree Adoption Drive, encouraging the adoption of dogs from animal shelters. This week's dog for adoption is Mr. Pippi. He's an 8-year-old Maltese cross looking for a loving home. So if you want to adopt Mr. Pippi or thousands of dogs like him, hit www.pedigreeadoptiondrive.com.au. You could end up with this little beauty here. Hey, boy.
We're safe. Let's do it.
Oh, jeez. We are
tight.
Hey, welcome back,
Hogan!
welcome back to the show. It is Before the Game.
A complete pain.
Jason Winderlich is special guest.
Jason Winderlich is our special guest.
The things you do.
Well, we nearly lost Winderlich down there. You cramped down there, isn't it?
A bit tight from last night.
Speaking of the injuries, how is the back? Because you've had some serious back issues.
Yeah, touch wood. It's been okay so far this year, but yeah, like I'm pretty lucky to be playing at the moment. But yeah. It's lucky. That's all I can say.
You had two operations, one in the middle of last year, one towards the end of last year, and the story was during the pre-season this year. I don't know whether it was right or wrong. Confirm it if you can or deny it. But about a month out from the start of the season, people were saying that Winderlich will never play footy again. Did it actually get that grim for you?
Yeah, it was probably 50-50 at one stage there. The medical staff weren't sure what was going to happen, but yeah, as I said, I'm just lucky the cards fell my way and I'm out playing again.
Do you think, though, when you think, like, with your back, I mean, backs, you don't muck about with backs, so, I mean, is there any point do you think I shouldn't risk playing again?
Yeah, definitely. That's first port of call was to make sure I would be able to live a comfortable life, whether I played footy or I didn't. So that was the main reason for having surgery in the first place. But from then on, once it felt comfortable, yeah, just have a crack at playing footy.
Yep.
I'd suggest one of the reasons that you are playing footy is Matthew Knights. He's been a great backer of yours.
Yep.
How much has it been a bonus for the Bombers that he has worked with Bendigo and, I suppose, fostered a lot of the people and known all of the ropes?
Yeah, like myself, Brent Stanton, Andrew Lovett, when we all first came to the club, we were playing like in and out of the seniors, playing in the VFL, and Matthew was the coach there, and then also a development coach. So each week you'd do your video with him one-on-one. So we had a great rapport before he came in as senior coach. So a lot of us, probably half the list, had a terrific relationship already before he took over last year.
Saves a bit of time, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was good.
And it's a really exciting list. Not only the run, and we see from the likes of you and Courtney Dempsey and Elwyn Davey and Andrew Lovett and all that, but there's a young group of key position players that are being blooded in the footy club. Michael Hurley, big things expected, taken number 5 in last year's national draft. At both ends of the ground last night, played some really good footy. Do you feel like this is a list with the young keys that you've got, Hurley in the middle of them all? This is a list that can actually deliver Essendon a premiership?
Yeah, I do. I think we're slowly building towards having a competitive team, which, like, as we saw last night and even a couple of weeks ago against Collingwood, we still need to improve on our defensive side of our game if we're going to challenge for a top 4 spot, because essentially that's where you're going to have your best crack at winning a flag is from the top 4. But in terms of Michael Hurley, he's not just a terrific player, but a terrific young bloke as well, and he could really be a swingman like Adam Hunter was during like 05, 06 for the Eagles.
Scott Dumbledon's problem, here's another one that high expectations exist around. Is his back a similar similar issue to yours? Is he going through similar problems that you experience?
Yeah, he could probably play in 2 or 3 weeks. He actually ruptured my disc. He wasn't quite as bad, but had similar surgery. But yeah, he's also a terrific prospect for the football club in the forward line.
Who else is going great for you? Joe Watson. He's proving to be. He's the guy. He's one of the only guys on your side who isn't quick, but he's a guy in the middle who gets it out to all the speedsters.
Yep.
And I am loving his work. I'm also loving what he's doing on Twitter, which is an internet site, and he's informed me of all sorts of stuff. Recently, he broke the news that he was actually going to play against Sydney on his Twitter site before the media got it. It was very, very exciting to get that little tweet from him.
And that was genuine.
It's a genuine tweet.
I started following him after that.
Yeah.
I thought I might get a story.
On Twitter?
Yes.
Are you twittering with Joe Watson? Is that how you do it or not?
Not really. I'll explain it later.
It's not for old men like you.
Andy's not even sure what a computer is. So.
Tell you who else is on Twitter who's got an exciting thing going. Mark McVeigh, he loves Twitter.
He sure does.
He had a night out recently, and I followed it on Twitter, actually. It was a meeting Solly for quiet drinks. Still out with Solly was the next one. Still out with Solly 1:30am. Still out with Solly 3:30am. Still out with Solly 5:30am. And kebab with Solly 7:30am. Just felt Lloyd's iron fist and see what Solly's up to 2:30. Anyway, he's no more of that for him, though, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's done and dusted, that story now.
I think that's a message, though.
You only feel the wrath of Matthew Lloyd's iron fist once before you stop those sorts of shenanigans.
You know what? I reckon we could run with it for a few more weeks. I really do.
Jason, hey, thanks for coming on. Great to see you playing the sort of footy you are. It's a great recovery and good luck for the rest of the year. Our special guest from the Essendon Footy Club. Going to take a break on before the game. When we return, Michael O'Loughlin from the Sydney Swans to join us. Welcome back to the show. Please put your hands together for one of the greats in the modern game. Genuinely is this bloke from the Sydney Footy Club, Michael O'Loughlin.
Great to have you on the show. 297 games. Have you started the countdown, 6 games to go, or are you just going to wait until the last week?
Just wait till the last week. It's, as you've said, it's been a long journey. And it's, I'm looking exciting for myself and the footy club. We haven't had a 300-game player. Touch wood that we can get there.
Michael, we've spared you the highlights of today. We won't go over that, but something we do have to show is a really sickening moment with Ted Richards. This is the last 30 seconds of the game, and he's just gone in a marking contest, an actually really courageous effort. But turns out, and we saw straight away that he was in trouble and started bleeding as soon as he stood up. He's actually ended up with a broken rib, a punctured lung, and is in hospital now as we speak. Believe it or not, Paul Roos actually said he'll be okay. Have you heard? I mean, he's a positive. He's an optimist. Have you heard anything? Have you spoken to him?
No, just in the warm down. We saw him getting carried out in the stretcher, the ambulance waiting for him. So hopefully he's okay. I mean, as you said, there's those injuries. It's going to take a little bit of time. I'm not too sure. Roosy's not a doctor. He's a great coach.
Yeah. When a coach tells you to back into a pack, you go, why don't you do it, coach?
As you say, I mean, Ted's been a fantastic player since crossing over from Essendon, and he's renowned for his courage and, obviously backing into Feb, who's obviously a great player as well. Yeah. So it was just one of those things.
But it wasn't all as fierce as that today. Joe Anderson from the Blues loved your work, didn't he, today? He, at the start of the third quarter, gave you a sneaky little bum tap. Check this one out. Here we go, Mickey. He loved your work. Hey, hello. It's nice. Have you two got a special bond?
No, I don't know what was going on there.
What is Seriously, he got some contact there.
Yeah, tell him he can look, but he can't touch.
I'm used to that in Oxford Street, but
it's usually Hughes' time, mate. The amazing thing about the Indigenous players, we did some rough numbers. When you started playing all those years ago, there were about 40 Aboriginal players in the competition. Now there's about 85 Indigenous players going around in the AFL. Just the transition for the Aboriginal football, Indigenous players since you started today, how different a landscape it is in the AFL?
Oh, look, I just think with today's players, they see a great opportunity. We're all close with our family. We have big families. So, it's their dream to play footy, but it's also a way to help their families lead better lives. So I think that's a big factor. We had a lot of issues, I suppose, back in the day with players going to clubs and then leaving, getting homesick and wanting to go home. And
big city life,
exactly. So I think nowadays guys see it as a great opportunity, and they can go back to the communities when they're finished footy and actually help out that way. So,
well, mate, you went to the biggest city in Australia.
Yep.
You've been up there a long time. You've battled all the way, and you reached the highest of high for your club in 2005. Is the moment holding the cup. All the South Melbourne and Sydney supporters who hadn't seen that joy for 7 years or something. It must have been an amazing moment.
Oh, look, that was just huge. To be sort of part of that first team in Sydney to win. I think we had the parade a week later or whatever it was, and there was 100,000 people on the streets, and it was to see Sydney embrace us like that was fantastic. And just like you said, it was a long wait between drinks, and it was fantastic for all the past players. We've got a massive function on for those guys tonight. So, you know, we've had a lot of Brownlow medalists and the champions that have played for our club, and it was just great to see those guys, and they got a bit emotional after that game.
Yeah, well, I mean, Sydney loves you and you love Sydney. Paul Roos loves you. You had the press conference to announce your decision, and here's a hug from Roosy, who's been there all the way with you, really. But you're not the only one. He's given Hall exactly the same hug as you, and I feel that you should be unhappy that you didn't get a different...
I reckon he's retiring players so he can get some action. Unbelievable.
What do you think of Barry Hall? I know he's clearing his head now. Do you think he'll play on next year? And would you recommend that a team give it a go?
Oh, look, I think he was in great form before the incident happened. I don't think he should play. I'd love to see him just retire as a Swan great. Yeah. And the way he should be remembered is he's actually a fantastic player, and we all know his stats, and, you know, he's kicked 600 goals, and that's, you know, for the player that he's been at our club, we wouldn't have won the premiership without him.
No. So you said you don't think he should play on?
I don't think he should play, no.
Why is that?
Oh, I'd love to see him. That's me being selfish.
Sure.
I'd love to see him retire as a Swans great.
What about the Swans without Barry Hall and without yourself? Arguably, and well, unquestionably, actually, it's an end of an era. Yep. Now, Barry in The Age and the Sydney Morning Herald this week has written, "Go and get Fev, go for your life." I know Brendan Favola is contracted, but stranger things have happened in football. What do you think about? Well, if not Brendan Favola, do you need a big name forward?
Well, we had a great guy played today, Jesse White.
He was terrific.
And we're grooming him to play that role. He's a big lad, can run. You know, I joined when Tony Lockett was there, then Barry Hall came. So
imagine that. You got front row seats to two of the hardest nuts in the history of the comp. That must have been fantastic to play with.
Look, I certainly knew my place early on. They told me to stay out of the way. So.
Yeah, but also you feel very safe. If someone touches you, you go, Tony, did you see that?
Absolutely.
You also, like as we said, in 05 and 06, you and West Coast were the two outstanding teams in the competition. Both aren't playing well. You've not playing as well as you were in that era. I think West Coast have dropped off more. Let's take a look at, I think this is Brad Ebert here. Let's see how West Coast are travelling. Not quite the same, is it, really?
We're going to take a break. Michael O'Loughlin, our very, very special guest. More to come after the break. Fitzy also to join us, and the tool of the week when we come back. So many great moments in the career of Michael O'Loughlin. He's our special guest in the studio. Michael, talk us through this. What were you thinking?
I wasn't. Obviously, poor guy just had a whiff of my breath there. I don't know. It was just one of those things that just followed on, and he just happened to get in the way. So
it was the most in the modern phase of the game. It's the most remarkable head-to-head Sydney v West Coast. Hardly seen anything like it. What was it about the two sides that made it so tight?
I think the players that they just really fronted up for those games. We really look forward to them. They're great rivalry, and everyone matched up pretty well on each other. So it was just one of those things.
It was two amazing grand finals. Yeah, anyone who saw them wouldn't forget.
Fitzy would have loved to have been part of those grand finals. Absolutely no doubt about that. Ryan Fitzgerald.
Just reminding.
Sorry about that, Fitzy.
But he just wasn't good enough.
That's the Hungry Jacks. He joins us. G'day, Fitzy.
G'day guys, how you going? I'm live. Yeah, thanks for that, you peanuts. I'm live on the red and white carpet here tonight. Special night for the Sydney Footy Club tonight. They are celebrating their inaugural Hall of Fame dinner. Over 135 years, guys, there's been 1,500 players that have donned the Guernsey, and there'll only be a select few that'll be up there on the honour board tonight. One man that you'd have to be pretty confident, probably the legend of the club, three-time Brownlow medalist that'll be up there tonight, is Bobby Skilton. Thanks for joining me, Bobby. How you doing, big fella, all right? Now, Bob, obviously, very decorated career, 9-time best and fairest player, 3 Brownlow medals. But what does it mean to you, Bobby, to be inducted maybe tonight into the Swans Hall of Fame?
Well, look, we may not have had the success that we've had the last 10 or 11 years or so, but you know we've had some great players, and it was just great to be part of a footy club and to mix and learn from people like Ronnie Clegg and Eddie Lane and you know Billy Gunn and those guys, and then over the years to play with the Max Papleys and Peter Bedfords and so on. So although we didn't have the success that we might have liked then, you know I made some wonderful friends, both coaches, players, opponents, and everything. And they're still wonderful friends today. From that point of view, it was a great era, and to be part of the Swans, you know, particularly these days, because we are now respected as a footy club.
All right, Bobby Skilton, absolute legend. One man that's also might be inducted tonight. Can we get him over here? The coach of the Sydney Swans, Paul Roos. Roosy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Fitzy.
Now, you can't be inducted as a coach tonight because you haven't finished coaching. So you're confident maybe that your playing days maybe do enough for you to be inducted into the honour board tonight?
Oh, I don't think my playing days at Sydney, I was only there for 4 or 5 years, and there was a lot better players played for the Swans than me. So I'm really looking forward to seeing who's going to be inducted, and obviously pretty excited about the night.
A big question is, Plugger going to rock up tonight? Did you have to make any phone calls during the week? Did Kel have to drive down to Plugger's house to get him up here for the Hall of Fame dinner tonight? You know anything?
I'm not sure. Plugger normally jumps in the Merc and just travels along the freeway. But the most important probably award tonight is for yourself. And I know it might come as a bit of a surprise to you, but we've got a special award tonight. Probably 10 of the greatest games ever to play for the footy club. So we couldn't get you in the Hall of Fame, but it is the Hall of No Fame, and as you can see, 2000, 2001, 10 fantastic games. So, well done, mate.
And Roosie, like you've done with Mickey O'Loughlin and Barry Hill, can I have a hug off you? Actually, Mickey's just watching now, Roosie. You want to say he's not even here? He didn't even find the time. Mickey O'Loughlin's in the studio now. Anything you want to say to Mick?
Was Mickey in the studio?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm sure he'd reiterate. Mick, what do you think about that? That's an outstanding achievement.
Well deserved,
you probably played next to Fitzy in those 10 glorious games.
He never hit me on the tit once. Back to you guys.
Thanks very much. Fitzy down there in the crowd. Thanks to Hungry Jack's doing some magnificent work.
Now it's time for our favourite segment on the show. It is the Home Hardware.
Footballers are competitors, and we appreciate that, but sometimes they can take it too far. Down in Tasmania last weekend, Michael Ferrito, who plays for North Melbourne, he took it too far. Let's have a look at this, all right? Watch, there's a bit of a melee, and hang on. Right. In a second, you're going to see a boot fall off Michael Shields. That's a Hawthorn player's boot. Watch Ferrito. He realises the Hawthorn player's boot. What's he do? Doesn't give it back to him. What's he do? He throws it over the fence. That boot killed a small child. Honestly, I'd never go to his place. You'd take your shoes off and end up in the next door neighbour's pool. That's why you've won the bloody works cordless home and drill from Home Hardware, your proper hardware store. There you go.
We're taking a break. Michael O'Loughlin to stick around. Hawks and the Pies following us here on Channel 10. That's where we're on next weekend. Limo's got the footy record. You love it.
I do have the footy record. I love it. Welshie on the front there. Pick up your copy this week.
You started as an 18-year-old, finished as a 32-year-old. What does life after footy hold for you?
I've already been doing some work with the Indigenous community there, so I'll get stuck into that. Obviously, footy takes up a lot of time, but I'll be going full time ahead with that.
And stay in Sydney?
Oh, absolutely. Love the place.
Coaching?
No coaching, no. Too many nutcases.
297 games. Are you sick of your teammates bashing you up? Because mate, we saw this, didn't we? Yeah, you weren't very happy about that.
Well, he's actually delisted now. Did I have a part in that?
It's been really, thanks for coming on. See you